another episode of My Favorite Things, aka a little bit of everything, July edition. This is a series on my channel where I highlight the best of what I watched or listened last month. So I talk about movies, TV shows, anime, music, and YouTubers. That was a smooth introduction. So this month of July, I had some interesting watches. It was a really good month. And I started to listen to a new band. More on that later. But for now, let's talk about movies. So the first movie that I'm going to talk about, it's called Plan B. Plan B tells the story of these two girls who are best friends, and one of them has her first time in a really regrettable way, and then she wakes up the next day to see that she needs the Plan B. The two of them go on a road trip to go find this Plan B. I got this movie recommendation from Amanda the Jedi's channel, where she talked about it being one of the best of the year. Last year they released I'm Pregnant. I watched it. I didn't like so much the movie, but it's really interesting that they're telling stories where they're showing how difficult it is for girls to get assistance in regards to these subjects. One of the highlights for me was seeing that the friendship of these two girls seemed really genuine. I just love seeing teen movies that really feel like the teens are like teens in real life. Sometimes it reminded me of Booksmart and of Superbad, but that is not something bad. You know, it's just that the type of humor at times got like that. It's a road trip movie that involves a serious subject and still is funny. This month I also watched the Fear Street trilogy. This trilogy starts with the story of a circle of teenage friends that accidentally encounter the ancient evil responsible for a series of brutal murders that have plagued their town for over 300 years. Welcome to Shadyside. So during these three movies we go following them unpacking this curse and what caused them and what it's about. The first movie is more of a slacker of the 90s. The second one is more of those thriller from the 70s, and the third one, it's a movie that passes in 1666, but then it also goes back to 94 to finish the story. From the three movies, I thought that the second one was the best. It was my favorite of the three of them. We are still taking the pieces and putting the puzzle together. It felt really like it was building up from the start, and once it gets to the part where it's the chase and people need to survive, it feels earned. Of course you kind of have an idea what's going to happen, but it still surprises you in some ways. I was not expecting what happened with one of the kills. But overall, the first movie was a good introduction, the second one was at its best, and the third one disappointed me a little, but it happens. I think that overall I still found this movie to be an entertaining time. It's not really groundbreaking enemies, but it really pays homage to movies of this type. I have one honorable mention. I didn't fall in love with this movie, but I wanna talk about because I still think that it's one that if you are an anime lover, you will still find ways to enjoy it. And that is Worlds Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. After meeting one bright sunny day, a shy boy who expresses himself through haiku, and a bubbly but yet self-conscious girl share a brief magical summer. This is a really delicate film. It really feels like one of those slice of life animes. It really has a slow pace to it. It can kind of bother you a little, but once it gets to the end, you kind of get a conclusion to the story that you're like, oh, this was sweet. Okay, let's go TV shows. Both of the TV shows that I watched this month, they are continuations to the story. So the first one I'm going to talk about, it's already one that I said I was excited for, and it was Atypical Season 4. For those of you who haven't watched Atypical tells the story of this boy, Sam. He is a kid that has autism, and we see he go through all the challenges that he has to go through. And we also see the story of his parents and the story of his sister Casey. It's mostly a family story overall, focusing on all these characters, but the main character is Sam. I've been accompanying since it aired, and it really felt like a special moment, a special thing to see how neurodiversity is being represented more on TV and how they're showing us a perspective of their lives that I think we've never saw before. Always enjoyed seeing Sam interested in penguins and Antarctica, and how he drawn really well and how he grew so much during all these seasons, and we were all there watching and just seeing he face those things that we all do growing up, but like for him it could be more harder in certain situations, but still he got through with them. And one of the things that I really liked from the first season was the parent storyline. In here in this season is a little bit more toned down. We don't see much of them, but still they're showing us that people go through those things. At some points it looks like there's no way out, but they still work through it. And of course we have Casey. Casey also has an amazing storyline. I really shipped her with Evan when the season started and everything, but once she got to meet Izzy and they fell in love, I was also like, oh my god, we really just want to see Casey happy. And how in this season they talk more about what running means to her and how anxious she was getting over something that she loves to do and she didn't want it to see it like that, and that she wants to do in a certain way and don't feel all the pressure over something that she really loves. So I think that they dealt really well with her story. If anyone watched Atypical, I would like for you guys to tell me what do you think of Paige. She is an exquisite character, but in a good way, you know. I think I was more involved in the first 2 seasons and the third season kinda. This third season, of course, we had to wait more than a year to come out because of everything that happened and is happening, but still, I think that they know the show that they were doing and they deliver an ending that possibly made everyone that watched the show happy. The other TV show that I watched, it's Never Have I Ever, the second season. For those of you who didn't watch Never Have I Ever, it has the story of Debbie that is dealing with the passing of her father. That is not a spoiler because it's like the first episode will tell you that. We see how she's going through that and how it's affecting her relationships with her friends, and she also of course has love interests and we get to see if she's going to get with one of them. I must add a disclaimer here because I made it sound that this show is more of a drama when actually it's more of a comedy. It has dramatic elements, but it's intending to be a comedy. I'm gonna be honest, the first season I didn't love it. I thought that it was a good show, but the second season I think that they continue the story pretty well. I'll tell you this TV show is, you really need to remember that Debbie's a teenager, that her attitudes are really teenage-like, and once you put that in your head you kind of are like, okay, so I understand why you might be doing this. It's not that it's okay what she's doing. It really has this discussion of like, is she a likable character or is she unlikable? I think it's in the middle. I think that Mindy Kaling is really creating a character that it's human. Someone who is still really traumatized, even that she doesn't really go deep into it. She still really hasn't faced that, and she takes all of that sadness and rage that she has into her relationships, and that is not helpful, and that she does make some really questionable choices. It's a TV show that is really showing us how teenagers are and how teenagers act, not like Debbie only. I'm talking about her friends and the boy that she is interested in. You know, they all act like normal teenagers. It's not like something on Riverdale that they were called teenagers but they acted like adults. We have a love triangle in here and it's not all so bad. I really like how they developed the 3 of them. So like Debbie being the main character, and Paxton and Ben. The episode of Paxton this season was one of my favorites. I really enjoyed how they dive more deep into his life and showed us how he thinks and how he sees the world. Tell me this, are you team Paxton or are you team Ben? I'm not gonna lie, this season maybe like Paxton a lot more, except the last episodes. I kinda see Debbie better with Ben because they get along really much well than she does with Paxton. But like, I think I like Paxton more than that really. It's just that they are all teenagers and like I'm not there, I'm past that, you know. But I'm still watching because I really like to see coming of age stories. Anime. I am watching some of the new seasonal anime, but I wanna wait until they're finished so I can talk about them to see if they're really good and if they're really good to recommend. I did watch one anime that's already complete. I watched the first season so I could catch up for the second season that is airing right now, and it's Mii Kobayashi's son, Dragon Maid. It tells the story of this dragon Toru that beat this normal human woman called Kobayashi, and they start to live together. Kobayashi starts to show that there's more in life than war and despair to Toru, and we also see other dragons coming to the story. Some of them start to live with Kobayashi as well, others they just visit from time to time, but it's mostly about they're showing these things of interspecies living with each other. It really balances its slice of life elements with drama in a really well crafted way. Of course, one of my favorite characters is Kana. She's the cutest thing ever, and her story has really a good balance of like she being a dragon child and how dragons treat their dragon child, and how in the human world she is able to be just a normal child. I also do enjoy Fafnir-sama. His scenes are really funny. Overall, it was just really nice to rewatch this anime. The first season is amazing. If you wanna go watch it, I really recommend you do. And the second season is being great as well, but I'll talk more about that once the season is finished. Okay, about music. The band that I started to listen to is The Regrets. I started to listen to them because months ago YouTube recommended to me their music video of their song I Dare You, and the music video was so colorful, the song was so catchy, I was drawn in instantly. And because of that, I decided I wanted to listen to their more recent album, and that was How Do You Love, that was released in 2019. And let me tell you, I really enjoy Lydia's voice, the main vocal singer. She has more of a deep voice and I really like that. The opening of this album, it's called Are You in Love? And it starts to ask you the questions to see if you are in love, if you're feeling the things that they're saying. And I thought that was so clever.
If you said yes to all the things above, then yes, my friend, I'm sorry, it appears you are in love.
The songs that I want to highlight from this album are Coloring Book. This song has been really growing on me. I've been on repeat with it. I like how the chorus built up and how it's just about breaking the ice and like, let's just see what this is about.
I can be your baby if you wanna be mine. I'll color in the picture if you just draw the lines.
Fog and Pumpkin. Immediately listen, I was like, I love these songs. After I've listened to the album, I decided that Pumpkin was my favorite song. It's such a cute song. She has a mention of the band of her boyfriend. Then she says, and I know that you like to pull leaves of trees. I just really love that touch. Also, the band is Wallows. They are really good. Please listen. If I start talking about Wallows, we're never getting out of this video, so I'll reserve some time to talk about them in the future. That Wrong is also a cute song about when you're already in the relationship. And Here Go is about when you kinda are getting out of the relationship and the person that you were with is kinda playing the role of the victim. So you're like, okay, here you go, this is the last thought I give about you. And I love it. And the last song that I wanna mention is California Friends. It's a really cool song. I don't know, but this band is really good with their chorus, and here in California Friends is just building up and you're there with them.
I think I love you, but then I think no way. I gotta go, but I wanna stay.
Just stay.
Guess I'll save it for another day. Well, okay.
Yeah, this is me being silly. And after listening to this album, I'm probably going to check it out, their first album. The name of the album is Feel Your Feelings Full, and that already sold me. I don't know, it's just... Indeed, Feel Your Feelings Full. About YouTubers, I want to talk about one YouTuber that I started to watch in July. And his name is Elliot Roberts. He has done a lot of videos talking about the Beatles. And I was introduced to him through this video where he talks about the movie Yesterday. It's called The Missed Opportunity of Yesterday. And yeah, that caught my attention because I really enjoyed the Beatles and I thought that that movie was okay. I mean, it had so many opportunities to be better, but somehow that movie just has a weird tone. And his video really clarifies a lot of that. And then I started watching his other videos. He made one where he watched every Beatles biopic and another where he watched Beatles tribute films. We know that this band is so big, so magnificent, and so well known from everybody, so whenever I see videos that talk about them, it's very interesting. He really talks in a clarifying way and explains it very well. So if you're interested in videos about the Beatles and such things, I recommend him to you. Really quick, what I'm excited for, it's 2 movies that are coming out now in August, and that is Annette and Coda. Annette, the trailer just shows to be such a really enthusiastic movie. It really feels like something that wants to draw you in, so I really want to watch it. And Coda is a movie that came from festivals and people saying that it's really good and I want to check it out. I don't really know much about it. I am one of those persons that try not to see the trailer. I just said that I saw the trailer to Annette, but it's just that I couldn't help myself. But usually I don't really like to watch trailers, I just read the synopsis. Trailers nowadays tend to give you almost the whole story of the movie. Some of the trailers be like that, and I don't really like it. If you're going to do a trailer, just show me a simple summary of what the story is going to be about, like the French Dispatch trailer. I don't know exactly what is going to happen in the movie, but I'm excited for it. Yeah, I don't know exactly what Coda is about, but it certainly caught my eye for me to wanna see and check it out. So those were my favorite things from July. I think that I tried to get the best of what I watched to highlight, to say to you that it's good checking out, and it's just really nice to be able to make videos like that and to keep involving in the editing process and everything. I know that I didn't make other video after my favorite things from June, like this is the next one that's coming out, my favorite things from July, like didn't have a video in the middle separating them or something. I've got some things planned, they take time but they will be out, they will be. Anyways, thanks for watching, I hope that you enjoyed this video and you got some recommendations or just a fun time out of it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!